Oh god, not the fucking Daily Beast. Florida investigates GOP lawmaker for breaking law he helped make. Okay, this passes my political litmus test because it's not just circle jerking about one side or the other of politics, about how much they hate their opponents. No, this is a left-wing news rag in the States. I'm trying to think. I'm the closest comparison I could think of is like a left-wing Daily Wire, I guess. I don't know. I tend to avoid these kind of sites normally just because they're fucking biased as shit and they don't care. But a Florida state representative co-sponsored cyberbullying legislation that outlawed posting people's personal information online. He's been breaking his very own law. I will make an exception for my politics rule because of this. This is funny. I like this. Also, cue that one tweet from, who was it? Lil B? I forget which rapper it was. Like, no, Tyler. It was Tyler, the Creator. Fucking, how the fuck is cyberbullying even real? Close your eyes. When angry protesters showed up at the home of pro-mask school board member to accuse her of mass child abuse, one yelled out, "Ray Fine says hello," or Randy Fine says hello. Oh, when two men confronted a disabled army veteran at a park, they allegedly, which, whenever someone says allegedly in a situation like this, it's almost certainly bullshit. I allegedly got laid today. Doesn't make it true. Invoked Randy Fine's name before beating him unconscious. Okay. No offense, you expect me to believe two right-wing guys beat the fuck out of a disabled army veteran? Is you dumb? Like, if you're gonna... like, I'm not saying it didn't happen. It could have. But that sounds incredibly unlikely. Like, it's not fucking, what's his name, Jussie Smollett levels of this is obviously bullshit. But, like, it's a few steps in that direction. If I had a name attached to this, I'd look into it just to see if it's true. These people were referring to Florida State Representative Randy Fine, a Republican who has turned his Facebook page into a rage fest where he posts his enemies' personal details and provides his followers with a roadmap to channel their hate. Remember, kids, doxing people is bad. Don't fucking do it. Looking at you, Village's news site who fucking doxed someone in your own article about their arrest. I fucking despise doxing with every fiber of my being. Yeah. But he's also a co-sponsor of the state's new anti-cyberbullying law, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is now investigating him for violating the very law he helped pass. The Daily Beast reviewed communication showing that the local district's prosecutor, state attorney Phil Archer, initially received two cases and referred both to the state's police agency. Special agents in the FDLE Public Integrity Unit are now investigating. It's sick and twisted. The irony of thinking he's above the law, let alone own one he brags about co-sponsoring, is insanity. All right, ma'am, I would like to introduce you to the concept of politicians. It's not just him that's like that. Literally every single one of them is like that. Find me a politician who isn't like that, and I found you a man or woman who just started their job this week. It's not the fact that he shared my phone number. That's not the illegal part. It's that you share my name, phone number, and incite people to harass and threaten me, Brevard County School Board member Jennifer Jenkins told the Daily Beast. He acts like Trump. He knows it's successful for the extremists here in Brevard. That's just his playbook. Fine declined to answer... Yeah, no shit, he declined to answer your questions on the record Thursday. Instead, he sent a statement warning against giving voice to the assaulted veteran by repeating some of the same defamatory claims about the man's criminal record that he often made on Facebook. You know, if we're going to dox anyone and lead to them getting assaulted in the street, can it at least be like a social media executive or a pedophile or a politician or a politician? Man, there's like 3 groups of people I fully support beating the shit out of, and I don't want to keep that joke going in. I have to. On. I mean, they have private residences. That would technically count as doxing. We know their address. We know their business addresses. Typically, like their office. Like my local congresswoman, her office is right up the road from me, in the office building my father used to work in. Actually, in the office my father used to work in. Actually, in his very fucking room in that office. Actually, and she also has his former private parking spot because he helped fund the building when it was being built. But enough about my hatred, my dislike towards my local congresswoman. I don't even know most of her politics. I hate her for stuff from before she became a politician. That's just very dumb that she shouldn't have done. On. Just fucking Val Demings. That he sent a statement warning voice to the assaulted veteran by repeating some of the same defamatory claims he made in man's criminal record. Wow, a soldier that's a criminal. Huh. A novel and unique idea. Print the claims, then Fine said, listing a litany of unproven and slanderous allegations. Be my guest. The 18th Judicial Circuit State Attorney's Office declined to confirm or deny the existence of any ongoing criminal investigations, and FDLE did not respond to requests for comment. Oh, sweet Christmas. How long is this article? God damn it. No, I don't know where I was. Fuck. Here we are. It's unclear how closely Fine was involved in crafting Florida's Combating Public Disorder Bill, a knee-jerk reaction by conservatives in the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests. But he was one of 26 co-sponsors of legislation, which received national media attention because, among other things, it allows pissed-off drivers to run over protesters. I mean, on one hand, yeah, that's scummy. On the other hand, bro, if you're gonna stand in the street, I'm just saying, you're putting more than yourself at risk. Is it victim blaming if it's a hypothetical? Basically, I just don't support, like, in the actual physical street. Don't fucking, like, the sidewalk is right there. If you're gonna block any lane, block the bike lane. No one fucking uses those. Seriously, I have never seen a single person around here on a bicycle use the goddamn bike lane. They're all either on the sidewalk if they're smart, or they're in the actual vehicle lanes if they're a moron. Because Florida drivers are goddamn insane. I've got stories. These are when I have to use the bike to work. The law created a cyber intimidation provision that makes it illegal to electronically publish someone's personal information. Even something as simple as their name or phone number, if the intention is to incite violence, threaten, or harass them. That's a good thing. Congratulations. I fully propose making doxing a felony. Good job. Whatever your name was, Randy Fine. 7 locals told Daily Beast that Fine doesn't just fit the bill. The law describes what he's been doing for months. Jenkins is a speech pathologist who worked at a Brevard County public elementary school. Was married to a teacher there as well. What the fuck is a speech pathologist? Is that like a speech therapist that helps the kids with the speech impediments, I guess? Moving. She was elected to the Brevard County School Board last year and has hence found herself in the uncomfortable position of advocating for requiring a mask in a state where the governor is a full-blown war against mask mandates in school. In her complaint to State Attorney Phil Archer, she details how Fine took his campaign's Facebook page, posted her personal cell phone number on July 29th, directing pissed-off anti-maskers to flood her phone line immediately. Okay, this particular instance, assuming that she had a different phone number for people trying to contact her about politics-related things, like, you know, when you can call into your local representative's office. If that was a different phone number from her cell, yeah, shitty thing to do. If you're gonna, remember kids, if you're gonna harass your local politicians, harass the poor unpaid intern at their office. It's way funnier that way. Because you're not hurting the feelings of the guy who doesn't care or know who you are. You're hurting the feelings of the 20-something intern who genuinely wants to make a difference in the world, helping them realize politics is a zero-sum game, and that if they really wanted to get to change the world, their best bet would be to be a billionaire and to start funding various charities that support the various things you believe in, looking at you, Bill Gates. Bet you were expecting me to make a fuck, what's his name? The Hungarian guy, George Soros. I bet you were expecting. Yeah, joke's dead. COVID is neither highly transmissible and has nominal effects on children. If you want to stand up for your rights, call Jenkins right now and let her know exactly how you feel. Bill read his post, which has since been deleted. Her complaint to the investigators claimed that she got furious text messages from over 70 different phone numbers, including one calling her a psychotic Nazi. Can we stop devaluing the term Nazi, please? Like, we call everything we don't like Nazis. Do I have to post the picture of sad Hitler on the sled about how everyone I don't like is a Nazi? Because I will post that fucking picture. So help me God. Or was it everyone I don't like is literally... forget which. Yeah, this one. This one, right here. Calling everything you don't like a Nazi or a commie, bash, just doesn't help. It's fucking meaningless buzzword. And it doesn't get anyone's attention. It just... I'm speaking from someone who's been in the balls of this shit since Gamergate. It just makes me roll my eyes, move on, and realize I wasted 8 years of my life, 9 years of my life. Oh my God, Gamergate was in 2012, wasn't it? Oh, Christ. I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. Incel is another one, by the way. Like, are there actual fascists and Nazis out there in politics? Yes, there are. I agree. They are bad. Fuck any and all forms of authoritarianism, be it left wing, or right wing. And no, I'm not about to invoke horseshoe theory by saying the left or the Nazis are fucking leftist or whatever that stupid meme is. They're really not. They're very authoritarian, but Nazi policy in and of itself was more centrist than anything. They had some far left ideas, some far right ideas. Fuck, they had some pretty decent childcare and safety laws, and I think it might actually still be on the books for Germany, if I remember correctly. I could be misremembering that, though, so don't quote me on it. But it was mainly like foster care shit and orphans, and how to actually and ensuring that they're not completely fucked over by a system. So can we stop blaming the Jews for everything? Like, if we're gonna have any actual cartoon villain, can it at least be the lizard people? I like blaming the lizard people. It's more fun that way. And because, you know, there are actual real-life examples of lizard people we can blame for our problems. Looking at you, Mark Zuckerberg. Her complaint to investigators claims she would have... One of the men who attended the next day's heated school board meeting later drove past her home slowly several times while staring her down. Wait, lizard people is code for Jewish folks? Are you serious? Ah, fucking Christ. I genuinely didn't know that until today. What a horror. I meant the fucking people that live in the subway under New York. Like the Midnight Meat Train bullshit. Does anyone even remember Midnight Meat Train, or is that just me? Fine's rhetoric has only grown more caustic in recent weeks, posting angry memes with her face or name repeatedly. He's saying there's a special place in hell for Jenkins and labeling her pro-mask stance as literally government-sanctioned child abuse. Bro, if you want government-sanctioned child abuse, look at the eugenic shit we were doing back in the 1910s and 1920s. Trust me, That's government sanctioned child abuse right there. Fucking hell. Things got especially heated on September 1st when anti-mask protesters rallied outside her home, and at least one raised. Also, please stop misappropriating the Gadsden flag. As a genuine libertarian, that shit deeply offends me on a personal level. Symbol has been widely adopted by gun-toting right-wing fringe. Remember, kids, the no-step snack is for everyone that opposes the government, not just right-wing lunatics. Please. It's like the Hong Kong protesters in Pepe the Frog. Can we give them this no-step snack too, please? Thank you. That's all I ask. Also, yeah, if you don't believe fucking Pepe the Frog actually did become a symbol of the Hong Kong anti-China protests. Look this up if you don't believe me. It's actually pretty cool. Satellite Beach police detective was called to investigate after receiving a report that one of the protesters, Janice Crisp, Autumn Jenkins's face as a kind of pandemic-era biological assault. A video appears to show Crisp yelling, "Randy Fine says hello." Okay. If there's an actual video of it, yeah, no, fuck this bitch. And also fuck this bitch for coughing in her face. Even if it wasn't the COVID shit, that's still fucking disgusting. Why would you do that? 2 days later, Fine posts on Facebook, "I had nothing to do with it for what it's worth. But when you use your home as your place of business and post the address on the internet, not sure you should be surprised when unhappy customers show." Okay, yeah, that is kind of dumb on her part. Like, I get why she uses it, but I would have at least set up a PO box or something. Just to make it a bit less risky, and watching all these idiots protest a post office would be pretty funny. Crisp, a loyal Fine supporter, got herself arrested for trying to disrupt the school board's decision to extend its mask mandate last month. She had previously filmed herself heading to the violent January 6th insurrection with her brother, but has not faced criminal federal charges as others in the mob have been. Well, see, the reason she hasn't been charged is because she only filmed herself heading to the insurrection. So they would need, first to charge her, they would need to prove she was genuinely there. And then they would need to prove that she actually entered the Capitol building. Those are two very different things. Because remember, not every person who was there that day entered. A lot of them did, but not all of them. And that is an important distinction you have to make. Because if you arrest someone for a crime they didn't commit, yeah, I don't think I need to elaborate. Jenkins finally took step on November 3rd for seeking an emergency restraining order against a politician citing stalking and cyber stalking after an anonymous caller sent the Florida Department of Children and Family investigators to her home to address fake allegations of. Okay, yep. We have very, very clearly crossed the line of what is and what isn't acceptable. I was with it up to protesting at her house, insofar as, yeah, if that was actually publicly available information. It's shitty. Yes, I will give you that. But I understand it. Don't bring her fucking kids into this. Why would... Christ. Be what Mr. Rogers wanted you to be, people. This isn't hard. He thinks he's above the law. He's a bully, Jenkins told the Daily Beast. He thinks he's going to intimidate me and harass me into resigning, and it's never going to happen. He's now going after people I am close to get me to resign. Jenkins is talking about her friend Robert Burns, an Army veteran who served as a medic in Iraq. He made a name for himself as the perpetual thorn in Fine's side, running a website that constantly hounds a politician for his policies and serving as a campaign manager to the Republican that unsuccessfully tried to oust Fine in the primary last year. Oh, smart. They actually tried to primary him. Because remember, kids, if you're trying to dethrone a politician in a district that leans hard in one direction, take them out in the primary with someone from their own party. It's a lot easier that way than it is to run someone in the opposition party. But hey, what do I know about political theory? I'm just some guy on the internet who pays attention. Finds of social media was littered with claim that Burns is a serial rapist, child abuser, and a wife beater, along with the photos of Burns' arrest record. Is that what he was arrested for? I mean, he could have been arrested for anything from shoplifting to grand theft auto to murder. That doesn't tell me anything. The feud has been going on for years, with a politician accusing the veteran of being anti-Semitic and offering to show Fine's mother a video of her son with prostitutes that doesn't exist. But the inflammatory online rhetoric there has escalated. What the fuck? Also, insert the fucking Trump P-tape here, because that was a fucking nothing burger we had to deal with for years. That was very clearly fake, and it took years for them to admit, yeah, this isn't real. Come on. Oh, the Trump P-tape? Let's see. If I remember correctly, the story goes that back in 2016, when Trump first took office, like, he was accused of being a fucking Russian plant, yada, yada, yada. And the evidence they had of this was an alleged tape that I want to say BuzzFeed initially reported on, which, warning sign number one, that showed Trump in bed with a prostitute wearing an Obama mask, and she was peeing on him. This is what started Russiagate. This is what America had to deal with for 4 goddamn years. I could admittedly be misremembering some of this, because this was 4 or 5 years ago. But it was so obviously bullshit. But fucking news companies kept reporting on it because it got them views. Because people accuse a lot of YouTubers that cover the news as being grifters, and 90 to 95% of them are genuinely grifters. But the problem is, the same statement holds true for news companies on TV and in print. They're in it to make money. They're not in it to tell the truth. They're in it to tell whatever gets them paid. It's been that way since William Randolph Hearst, over 100 goddamn years ago, used his power and influence to make marijuana and hemp illegal in the United States, because hemp paper was a cheaper alternative used by his competitors when it came to the fucking newspaper he ran. And because he was on actual paper and pulp and wood pulp. This man inspired Citizen Kane, and his granddaughter got kidnapped by terrorists and became a bank robber. Interesting fella. America's been going ape shit for the last, 20 years. I blame 9/11. It's just been getting weirder and weirder, and I am genuinely excited to see where we wind up by 2030. If we're even still around. Honestly, we might hit a point where someone just says, fuck it, and nukes us. On the same day Jenkins filed her stalking case against Fine, the state representative posted a paparazzi-style photo of Jenkins and Burns outside the veteran's home, showing a license plate and house number. Fine credited citizen journalist and linked to a blog post on an anonymously authored blog. But a closer look hints that Fine was involved. One article features a screenshot of Burns' social media activity taken from Fine's own personal Facebook account. As most people know, your Facebook profile picture follows you wherever you go onto the site. So if you took a Facebook screenshot while on your account, the post will show you near the share button. Minutes after Fine made the post, Burns was allegedly confronted by 2 men while he walked on a nature trail at a small nature preserve called Turkey Creek Sanctuary. Sorry, I just had a bit of a panic attack because there's an area near here with a similar but not exact name. According to Burns, the interaction went like this. Are you Robert Burns? One man asked. Yes. Yes, he said. Are you Randy Fiennes? Is Robert Burns? He followed. Yes, unfortunately. Oh, okay, so you like to rape and abuse women and children. Okay. This smells like bullshit. I'm pressing X to doubt on this. I don't think this confrontation happened. No. Because that went from 0 to 100 way too fucking fast. And if it was some QAnon bullshit, it's some kind of genuinely fucking nuts political thought, it would have gone even farther. So it's in that middle ground where it's too extreme to be real, but not extreme enough to also be real. You know what I mean? So this one, man, I liked last week better when we had to talk about the private monkey island. That was fun. Can we get a story like that this week? Fight ensues, and while Burns said he struggled with one man, another swung a heavy object and slammed it into the back of his head. Burns, who suffered multiple traumatic brain injuries while combat in Iraq, woke up on the ground days minutes later. Spent the evening in the... Ooh, he was actually injured. Okay, so if he was genuinely injured, I still think it wasn't exactly phrased this way, but it probably... Spent the evening in the hospital, his ribs bruised from what you can only guess was violent kicking while he was down. A person who witnessed the beginning of the assault confirms some of the details of the Daily Beast. Palm Bay police would not provide details of the attack to avoid harming the investigation. Okay, there's an active investigation going into it. These guys will probably get caught. Because a nature preserve like that, typically you have to pay like $1 or $2 to get in just to, maintain upkeep, pay the park rangers, shit like that. It's kind of annoying, but oh no, I have to pay $1 to get in. Ooh. Fuck, dig under your couch cushion. Burns is now in contact with a Palm Bay police detective investigating the attack. He has filed a complaint to the local prosecutor, is in touch with Special Agent Lee. He's making this a new normal. He's making people to think this is okay, that this is how politics work. He's grooming the Brevard young Republicans, aspiring politicians how to campaign, Burns. He's also committing the infractions because he thinks he's immune. He thinks he's untouchable because he's doing press conferences with the governor and law enforcement. Well, if that's the case, then I think we know when they need to arrest this guy. Could you just imagine he's doing a fucking speech with a bunch of cops next to him, and then like one of them just walks up and handcuffs him and starts reading him his Marine? That would be some Kino shit. I would be down. Their actions have inspired others who feel like they've been bullied by Fine to report him as well. In October, attorney Andy Lannon filed a complaint with the FDLE, according to an email reviewed by the Daily Beast. It's not about left-right politics, said the attorney, who describes himself as a devout Roman Catholic and lifelong Republican. I like how he led with the Roman Catholic part. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, insert conspiracy theory here. Fine targeted Lannon because when he quit his Palm Bay city attorney job and a week later checked himself into a mental health facility for... Fine, in the sense to leave Facebook post still available on Google, publicly called for him to be removed from a committee that nominated judges and called him unfit. Lannon wants state inspectors to investigate what he considers Fine's illegal attempts to tarnish his reputation, to destroy his credibility as a witness, set to testify against Fine's associate, who last month pled guilty to his role in a corruption scheme. And his friend was involved with corruption. Who would have guessed? Truly, I am shocked beyond words right now. Who could have possibly seen that coming? Okay, moving on. He's cruel and vindictive, Lannon told the Daily Beast. Lannon, who has since gone into private practice, said 3 clients dropped him or refused to pay legal bills because of Fine's post. He added that the politician's wrath was the primary motivator for his decision to leave the area and move his family to Orlando in 2019. His attacks made it hard to make a living for 3 years. It was really hard on my family. They were devastated. Justice needs to be served, he said. Now, it sounds more like papers need to be served. Take this fucker to court. For others, the attacks predate the cyber intimidation law by years. Palm Bay Councilman Kenny Johnson was 27, was 3 months into his first term when Fine posted his personal cell phone number on Facebook, urging residents to call him today and demand he stop the corruption. Johnson insists that his city-owned cell number was on the municipal website, so Fine had to go out of his way to target him. Johnson, a personal trainer at his own gym, kept picking up calls for a week in case they were potential clients, but eventually had to give. His intentions were to intimidate me one way or another. Me to do whatever he said. Me in my place, Johnson told the Daily. During my campaign, I saw mudslinging, but not at this level. I expect it from the residents, but not elected officials. We're supposed to hold ourselves to a higher standard. Bro, the highest standard I've seen a politician hold themselves to is a limbo bar in the sub-basement. Meanwhile, one of Fine's own tales of harassment appears to be in doubt. Earlier this year, when faced with criticism that his online behavior posed a danger to Fine came forward with his own story about feeling threatened. On September 3rd, Fine publicly claimed that his office received a threatening call from a man claiming he was representing Jennifer Jenkins. I mean, he can claim that all he wants. The burden of proof is on him, though. I'd like to thank the police department of the city of Melbourne, city of Palm Bay, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the House Sergeant of Arms for immediately responding to the credible threat made against him. However, the Daily Beast checked all 4 law enforcement agencies. Such a threat was reported. The Florida House Speaker's office said the Sergeant at Arms did not receive a call that matches. The Melbourne Police Department reported that it never received a call from Fine's office, which is outside their jurisdiction anyway. And while FDLE did notify the Palm Bay Police Department about the incident, the matter did not rise to the level of report. It was determined that a subject made a comment to one of Fine's staffers. No threat was made to Fine. A Palm Bay public information officer told the Daily. Okay, one joke. One fucking joke. You mean the mysterious disappearance of the guy who killed Epstein? Moving on. I'm not even going to bother reading the Reddit comments on this because Reddit politics